Welcome everybody to Jack Does Horror. I'm Jack, and today we are talking all about the Wrong Turn reboot. To be more exact, we're talking about how wrong I was about the Wrong Turn reboot while I was reviewing the Wrong Turn reboot trailer, and how I'm really glad that they got out of Hellraiser mode, but I really wish that they didn't Season of the Witch this movie. What do I mean by those terms? Wait until the end of the video to find out. But before we get into all that, if you guys haven't already, please hit like on this video and share this video and all the videos, the channel as a whole, with all your family, friends, and loved ones, because not only does that help the Jack Does Horror community grow, but it helps the horror community grow as a whole, and how awesome is that? Also, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe, because it's a small little clicky poo for you guys, but it's a huge gesture for us. Here at Jack Does, we appreciate the support, and trust me, we can use all the support we can get. Now, with all that being said, on to the reason why you clicked on the video in the first place. On to reviewing the Wrong Turn reboot. Hit the intro. Alright, let me just start out by saying, if you guys want a good laugh at on my expense about how I call myself a horror expert and how wrong I was when watching and reviewing the Wrong Turn trailer, the Wrong Turn reboot trailer, then please go check out that video, because I was way wrong. Just to give you a little snippet how wrong I was comparing this movie to Friday the 13th Part 2 and saying how the killers weren't going to be so inbred berserkery, but they were more going to be cerebral, and they were going to be more mountain man-ish. And maybe I was a skosh, just a little right there, but I couldn't say in good faith that I knew exactly what this movie was about, because in my opinion, I was way the hell off. Let me start out by saying I was 100% ready to poop on this whole movie, because it starts out the way I hate seeing horror movies especially start out, which is where we're already talking about the incident where the main horror story takes place, but we're now in the future and we have to go back weeks later. I hate that. Now, there's exceptions to the rules in movies. For example, I love the movie Frailty, and they do that, Frailty, but it was done 100% right. Usually when I see it, it's done where I kind of feel like you just added to the snore fest. Then we get to where I actually end up starting to enjoy some stuff that I can kind of punch at and stuff like that, because I review these movies, because, well, that's what this channel is about. And I get to see the 21st century cliche characters. What do I mean by that? Well, in the 20th century, you would have your final girl that usually was this cute, smart, highly educated girl, and then you would have her boyfriend, or the guy that she would want to be her boyfriend, which was usually more mature and a little more sophisticated than the rest of the pack, which was a low bar, because that pack would consist of a nerd and an asshole. And then if that girl's best friend wasn't a slut, you would have the girl's best friend and a slut. So that was the 20th century cliche horror movie characters, which, hey, real quick, in the comment section below, let me know where the hell did the rumor start of how if you're a black guy in a horror movie, you're the first to die? Okay, let me, just for example, okay, you have Night of the Living Dead, you have Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, Friday the 13th Part 5 and 6 and Part 9, okay, and then you had Alien Resurrection, Jaws 4, just to name a few movies where the black dude was not the first to die. Let me know in the comments below. I'd appreciate your input. Seeing how we're talking about cliches and all that, I just want to know because, well, if you were like me and you were talking horror movies, say at a bar, that was usually the first joke that somebody who wasn't funny would start trying to chime in about horror movies, and it was just a mess. It was a whole mess, lots of overkill, and it still actually goes on today, and I would just like to know where that all started, but let's not get into all that right now. That's what that comment section is for. In the 21st century, your cliche horror characters goes a little something like this. Any female that's in the core group is going to be highly educated.
You learn how to do this.
My dad, he taught me two things. How to bait a hook and how to change a tire.
My dad taught me how to put in a tampon.
And if there's a white guy in that group, more than likely he's gonna be an asshole. And if the boyfriend just happens to be white of the final girl, then he's gonna be very, well, we'll just say he has his balls in her purse, for lack of a better term. And if it ends up not being a white guy, well, then it's gonna be the same thing, a dude who has his balls in her purse, but he's also gonna be the farthest thing from a stereotype, and he usually will also be highly, highly educated. In wrong turn, they even raise the bar by giving us the cutest gay couple you'll ever see in a horror movie. And we get to find all this out when the stereotypical hick comes up, because he does not like these people that aren't local acting all high and mighty and acting like their shit don't stink. And well, he gets put in his place pretty quick. And I just want to say that this is right around the time where I was gonna get up and get something to drink, because I felt like I maybe needed to be a little more inebriated, because this movie was very cliche at this point, and I've seen this all the time, you know, same song, different verse, a little faster, a little worse.
What you want to do with it? He got a little pretty mouth, ain't he?
But whatever. Anyway, I got a case of the lazies, so instead of getting up and getting that drink, I watched the movie for 15 more minutes, and then I got my first kill. Unfortunately, it broke up the cutest couple in the movie, the gay couple, and one of those dudes got smashed brutally and awesomely with a log that was a booby trap. And let me just say that this is why, guys, I always say, cool story, cool characters, cool kills equals cool movies. They gave me cool kills, and now I'm leaning forward with interest because I need to see where this movie goes. So after a little bit, we get to see the Skull Twins, and then I get my mind blown. So I thought, because Adam, your stereotypical white guy douchebag, he ends up being the dude who freaking kills one of these guys. I was like, what? He's not supposed to have redeeming characters. Let me rewind. During some other things that are going on before all this, he leaves his girlfriend high and dry. He's not really looking for her when she's gone missing. I mean, he's being very asshole-ish, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, how the hell am I so wrong, not once, but twice about this Wrong Turn movie? This is insane. And then it happened. I wasn't wrong, because our gang gets caught. Adam killing those guys ends up being a huge mistake, because, well, that's when we get to see the secret society that predates the Civil War, and that's where we get to meet the main bad guy in it, Venable, which he then explains the secret society. And not only does he explain the secret society, but he explains the rules and the punishments that go along with it. This is where things get kind of confusing to me, because, well, apparently the Skull Twins weren't trying to kill those guys. They were trying to escort them off the mountain safely so they didn't find the society. And, well, that's confusing. We'll get to that in a minute. So Adam, the stereotypical white guy in a horror movie, aka the asshole with no redeeming qualities, gets his head smashed by a club. And the gay guy that didn't get killed by the giant rolling log booby trap, Luis, he gets his eyes scourged and burned out by this hot, long, hard Iron Rod! Absolutely insane. And now Jen, aka the final girl, decides she's going to use her wits and her brains and save her and her boyfriend Darius by offering her hot little body the Venable. And it works. And this is where things get really stupid and confusing for me, okay? Because, well, we'll start with the stupid. So, Darius, by the way, he just seen his friends get brutally annihilated here. He ends up thinking this society is the place to be. This is where he is meant to be, and we should have seen it coming because the dialogue was so nail on the head, it's sickening. We all should have saw it coming because in the beginning of the movie, Darius Major, whatever that was him talking about how he wants to be part of a community that is different from the system that he's used to, that he needs change. He wants to see a community that has camaraderie and works together, and he doesn't see that in our society. Interesting enough, Venable, he raises an interesting question in his dialogue, which society is really the society that's backwards, seeing how anytime he takes a glance at ours, all he sees is violence and corruption. Makes you think, now doesn't it? That was the stupid. Now we get to the confusing because this is where we get to see Matt, the whitest hair you know, Modine, still looking for his daughter. He goes and he pays some people where they tell him if they find the people that are living on that mountain, they're as good as dead, which is really confusing to me because Venable said that one of the biggest punishments that you can have is for lying, which then he was lying about the free escort off the mountain. So this is where, you know. Lies, yeah. Anyway, this is where Matt White Lightning Modine gets to meet that hick from the bar earlier, who's all kinds of willing to help him because his daughter and her friend diagnosed him while throwing all kinds of shade at his hillbilly ass when it came to his liver failure that night at the bar, and he owes them one, hence why he's helping Matt Modine find his daughter. And well, they end up going up, and let me just say, without trying to spoil the ending, it just leads to death and a lot more kind of sort of stereotypical horror movie stuff. But with that being said, I like the ending of this, honestly. And guys, it did this for me. I already told you about cool kills. The cool characters, I will say a civilization or society that lives in the mountains that predates the Civil War and they've been around that time. That's a pretty cool, those are pretty cool characters, and then that kind of leads to a pretty cool story. Not saying that it's good writing, I'm just saying that the story of it does make you lean towards the side of cool. That makes a cool movie in my book. That's why I was 100% wrong about the Wrong Turn reboot. Maybe not 100%, but at least 75%, right? Give or take. Yeah, but my movie recommendation of the week, I was 100% right about, which is Willy's Wonderland. I love it when I'm right because, guys, this had Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage without any dialogue, which is insane to me. So usually when I watch a Nick Cage movie, I love Nick Cage dialogue. I love the one-liners, I love phrases he uses. How can you do Nicolas Cage and a role with Nicolas Cage in it without having any dialogue? Willy's Wonderland pulled it off. He was able to do all that cool kick-ass Nick Cage stuff without any words. amazing to me. Now, I know for the last 6 months, if you've been paying attention, you know I'm going to say, and trust me guys, it's been more than 6 months, it's been a few years off of this channel, that I've been saying for a while that Nick Cage is the new king of horror. And guys, I get there's a dude named Bruce Campbell and he revised his role as Ash Williams in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, but that lasted 3 seasons and then it got canceled, unfortunately, which means there needs to be a new heir to the throne, which means, guys, why not Nick Cage? Leave a comment in the section below for that.
I'd appreciate your input.
Jeez Louise, why not? Anybody who does not like Willy's Wonderland, let me explain to you why I think it's a kick-ass movie and why I recommend it, is because I get that twists and turns and all this stuff's supposed to happen in horror movies and you're not supposed to see everything coming, especially if you're trying to be scared. But there's also the majority of the movies that give you what you want, what you expect. That's why you watch them. Example, Halloween franchise and Friday the 13th franchise, okay? You know Michael Myers is this killing machine that is going against and after anybody that's part of the Strode lineage. And Friday the 13th, from parts 2 to where he's in space and then they reboot it, you watch it for the same thing. This berserker named Jason Voorhees killing people brutally that are a bunch of hotties of both the male and female variety. That's why you watch those movies. So yes, Willy's Wonderland is no exception to the rule when it's giving you something that you expect and that you want, and that's why you're watching it. For fun, for entertainment, for a little thrill, a little chill, but most of all, you're just trying to have a good time during that duration of that movie. Anybody who doesn't like this, well, I'm just gonna go like this, man.
Why so serious?
You take your horror a little too seriously. It is not the scary genre, it's the horror genre. And yes, there's scary movies inside the horror genre, but since the genre was created, it was always supposed to be about entertainment, which means it's supposed to hit on more emotions than just fear, all for the sake, whatever emotion is, for entertainment. Don't shit on Willy's Wonderland, embrace it. It's a cool movie, it's a kick-ass movie. It's the Jack Does Horror movie recommendation for this video. On to the terminology that I promised you at the beginning of the video, but before getting into all that, if you guys dig the digs, here we'll just put a better picture right here of that. This is a Fantastic Me shirt that you can find on Apocalypse Inc. That's on redbubble.com, and it's got not just this shirt, well, this shirt, for example, is one of my favorite cosmic horror movies of all time, Phantasm, and the animated movie Despicable Me mashup, hence Fantastic Me, spelled with a PH, not an F. And there's other mashup shirts on that, on Apocalypse Inc. And you guys should check them out if you guys want to wear something that's horror, but it's a little bit different than the norm. A lot of fun, a lot of cool, right? So go check it out. Also, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've gone into gaming. Jack Does Horror has started doing gaming, and if you guys want to play a video game with me, or you just want to talk about the horror genre, or that comment that you left in the comment section you want to get a little bit more descriptive about, you want to get a little bit more chit-chatty about, well then come join the Discord. Yes, we have a Discord. There's a link in the description below for that. It's cool, and also anytime that you want to see me make an ass of myself on a video game live, that's where I'll always post when I'm live streaming on Twitch. Go check that out. And lastly, I'm part of a cartoon, a post-apocalypse cartoon called Apocageddon. That's part of a channel called BleepTube. Go check that out in the link in the description below after this video, of course. And if you end up liking the stuff you see on there, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to that channel as well. That's a really cool move. And it's not just an animated show, Apocageddon, it's also gonna be comedy sketches and, well, anything that I'm in that's not part of the horror variety. So hey, check it out. Now, on to the terminology. We're gonna start out with the franchise wrong turn not being in Hellraiser mode anymore. Obviously, I am talking about the fact that in Hellraiser, even though I really like number 4, they really stopped giving a shit in the first 3. okay? After the first 3, they just were busting out those movies to try and make a buck, and they bled that rock dry, and so did the Wrong Turn franchise, because man, after a while, they didn't even really have a budget to it. Now, did they? I'm pretty sure I seen the main bad guy wearing the inbred mask instead of doing a makeup job. What the hell? But even though they got out of Hellraiser mode, they did need the season of The Witch, the movie. What do I mean by that term? Well, anybody who's not a horror buff or aficionado, I'm talking about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and how they should have not had Halloween 3 on the title of that movie, because that automatically made everybody poop on that movie. Because, well, Michael Myers wasn't in it, and it took decades and decades for everybody to give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch the chance that it was actually a really good movie. And maybe, just maybe, if they didn't put Halloween 3 Season of Witch and just call it Season of Witch, well, they would realize that in the 80s and would have went down as one of the better horror movies of the decade. That's what's up with those two terms. Speaking of what's up, guys, let me give you a few quick shout outs here to a few people. First, Joel Marshall and his channel, Lunch Therapy. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do for these shout outs? I'm going to put, you know where there's those boxes at the end of the video? Yeah, I'll put Joel Marshall in one of them. He has a channel called Lunch Therapy, and he goes live Tuesday and Friday, and you can check out any of his shows because he does record them and it's on his channel. Joel Marshall's a really cool guy. I personally give him the credit for getting me into stand-up comedy, so I always feel like, hey man, if I can support Joel, or I can get people to support Joel because he supports me, why not do it? He's an awesome dude, funny dude. Go check him out. Speaking of funny dudes, like I said, I've been doing gaming. And I've been doing gaming against one of the people being the Royal Bucket. Also does funny videos, funny gaming videos. Go check him out. I'll put him in that box right there. And then last but certainly not least, a dude whose link has been in the description since day 1 of this channel on any of the videos, Nick the Spaceman. He does all the original music for Jack Does, and well, I feel very, very bad that this is the first time I give him a shout out on this channel. If you guys want to see a talented musician that's a personal friend of mine and see some alternative, or I'm sorry, hear some alternative music, go check out that link. That's Nick the Spaceman, super talented dude. Go check him out and support him as well. And with all that being said, as always, I'm Jack. This is Jack Does Horror, and I will see you all next video.